Hi there. Do you ever struggle with the desire to stand up for yourself and then also recognizing that sometimes you may come across as too strong and it can be a turnoff for the person that you're wanting to relate to? And maybe then you start to feel like, well, now I need to walk on eggshells and make sure that they feel that they also have control. I don't want to be emasculating. And then you're starting to lose your sense of self, and then the boundaries feel crossed, then you go to the other extreme again, and then you have the hard lines, the passion, the energy. And what I'm hearing when I hear these stories is that that women really want to take leadership and ownership over their own lives. They don't want to be passive. They don't want to be um, someone who has to be in response to somebody else in their life, but they really want to be in interaction and a dynamic relating together. I'm Kristen. I'm a relationship coach for women, and I help them find love and sustain it to an everlasting, enlivening relationship. I make that sound like a fairy tale, but it does. Believe me, I appreciate that it's hard work, but also joyful work and transformational work that really allows the soul to really vibrate and be present. So here today, what I wanted to discuss with you was feminine leadership in relationships. And I want to offer you a way to do this that is empowering both to yourself and honors the masculinity and power of your partner. So there's 5 different ways I'm going to go about talking about this. Some of these I'm going to talk about more in depth than others, but let's just get right into it. So the first one may seem a little covert or manipulative, but it's actually not manipulative, because what we're doing is we're using strategy for the purpose of engaging somebody. So it's well known in relating in business relationships, you have to enroll somebody into an idea or a shared belief in order for you to have a constructive conversation towards a shared goal or solution. So if we're talking about a love relationship, we're going to want to have a constructive facilitating way of communicating that allows you to go towards the shared goal, which is this way is to enrich and enhance the connection that you have. So the first one I'm going to offer to you is that's like my words, is to ask questions. So instead of responding back like, I don't like that, or that really rubbed me the wrong way, you're making it about you. And I'm going to invite you to ask a question, because then it makes it about them. And not only does that, it also has a curiosity. So make sure that you're actually authentically feeling curious and genuine, but often it's a little bit of a mindset twist. When somebody triggers you or says something that you don't like, that makes you want to put up walls or stand up for boundaries, or kind of go in a little bit of a raw mode, remember that you're talking to somebody that you have a desire to create a deeper connection with. And you can just ask a question like, well, what did you mean by that? Or that caught me off guard. What was your intention behind that? And by making it to learn more, to make it about curiosity, you're learning, you have this opportunity to get more inside the way that they're thinking, which, I mean, every woman is always trying to figure out, well, what is he thinking? What is he feeling anyway? And that's a whole other story. But to ask questions is going to be a very profound way to take leadership in your relationship, to allow connection and dialogue more than just this abrasive, combative type of thing that is more about defense than it is about we fence. We call that we fence. New word of the day, we fence. Hashtag. All right. Second one. It's making invitations. So this one is related to knowing very well your frequency of your ideal relationship. That's something that I talk about a lot in the terms of your inner work, the heart of my work. And from that place of knowing yourself a lot and knowing how you want to be in an ideal relationship, you're going to have to start to make bridges between what you know is your own truth and what this other person, how they relate to that themselves. So it's to see if there's resonance, and to see if there's congruency, to see if there's leaning in, to notice if there is an ability to try to adjust and to each other. So an invitation, you can think of an invitation as letting them into a part of your life. So meaningful vulnerability, but not to be like, yeah, when my grandpa died, it was the worst thing in my life. Not that kind of level of vulnerability, especially at the beginning of a relationship, but something that was meaningful to your life, and seeing how they lean in, how they lean into the curiosity when they can really feel the sensitivity and richness of that part of your life. Another way to make an invitation is, like I said before, is to ask questions. And by asking questions, you can also offer, like, can I offer what I was thinking about when I said that? That's an invitation to say, hey, are you willing to have dialogue with me and get clear on that? Okay, so that's the second one in brief. The third one, it's receiving fully before correcting. So a lot of times we're told as empowered women that we need to tell a man what he needs, what we need in order to receive it. And while that is true, to know what you want, know what you need, that is part of the invitation. It's also to let it to be in his hands, let him take it in and let his own creativity be a part of it, so he can make it his own, so he can feel like it's part of his own, so he feels like it's his joy that he can make you happy by providing you something that you said that you wanted. And so what I want you to do when you're receiving something, even if it doesn't look exactly like what you expected, I want you to receive the fully of the intention of it. And I'm going to pause for a second because I need to sneeze. Back and sneeze free. So you're going to need to pause and really take in the fullness of that. So allow your heart to soften and open, and just take it in, take it in, take it in, and let that feeling of receiving move throughout you before you say, actually, I wanted this. Because you might find out, wait, I actually, the way that I was hoping to receive actually matches what I did receive, even though it didn't look exactly as I had hoped. Fourth one is validating experience. So if you find that someone's kind of shutting down, or they're just kind of putting up walls, very short responses, a lot of times validating their experience is going to be something that helps break through the walls and moves them forward, and both of you forward to connecting and communicating again. So again, this is another way of feminine leadership, because you're saying you shouldn't be feeling a certain way, you shouldn't be thinking a certain way, you shouldn't be correcting. Like, you're not saying you should be. The shoulds often are a source of tremendous guilt. And for men, when they receive the shoulds, they kind of feel like they're either talking to a teacher, authority, a boss, or a mom, and you get out of the partner zone. So when you're talking about validating experiences, you can just acknowledge what they already said exists for them. And that in itself is going to be a great catalyst to opening up the relating, or being able to discern, like is this something that is actually important to my relationship or not, moving that forward. So that's my kid and his best friend in the background. All right, the fifth and last one for today is enroll advice before offering it so it sticks. So the idea of this is, like, a lot of times women, the way they relate to each other is they just give each other advice off of the cuff. They don't even ask permission to give the advice. And something that I learned about right away when I was in coaching training was that the mind is programmed kind of like an immune system to negate and throw out the information that it doesn't also believe in, that it hasn't also signed up for. So if you just think of it this way, like before you offer advice to someone, something that can help them move forward, it's good to say, like, hey, could I offer my advice on that? Or, hey, do you want my insight on that? And if he says no, that's great, because having response and knowing that it's a no is okay. It's not nothing personal to you. Maybe he's just not ready to take that in yet. Also, another advantage of enrolling people's advice, besides them also buying into it, is to enroll them before offering it, is that you also then get the same problem that we were talking about before, where you're telling them and versus inviting them to a conversation, is that you can start to get into the mom zone. If you're offering advice, you're trying to correct them how they should be. A lot of the women I work with end up, they're very sensitive, and so they want to be with someone who's a sensitive, charismatic person. But often the person that, a lot of times the person they're with has not yet grown to their potential or stepped into the man that they really are meant to be. And yet the woman has been self-made at all this time, has like really pushed hard to be good in her career and be good for professional life. And a lot of times in those situations, the woman starts to tell the man exactly how he should be doing things. And it takes a very special man to just like take it in all the time. But it's also your mom zoning him to say, hey, like you should be making your bed. You should be making your metaphorical bed. You should be providing better food for your body and on your table. You should be doing this. You should be doing that. It's so you can kind of hear how you just kind of stepping in to be like how he should run his professional life, how he should be managing his own life, can really be detrimental for the health of the partnership that you're really looking to have in the first place. So again, asking if he wants any of your advice, any of your experience before, even if you have a lot more than he does, it's good to ask if he wants to receive it before you actually do. So that's that. Those are the 5 feminine leadership qualities that I want to share with you today. And I hope that you gained a lot from it. Let me know what you want to practice on, particularly in the comments. Bye.